In today's lesson, I will give instruction on how to write a verbatim report. This is an important lesson because you will write a verbatim of a ministry encounter later in the quarter. Hello, this is Steve Googe, and I look forward to what we will learn today in Supervised Ministry 302. What will you learn in this narrated PowerPoint? You will learn how to earn extra credit for this course. This will be an optional exercise, but available to every student. You will learn the definition of a verbatim report. You will learn the 4 sections of a verbatim report when you're writing the report for submission as an assignment, and then you will learn how to write the verbatim report by putting all the component parts together. What is a verbatim report? Well, it is a careful reporting of a conversation during any ministry event of your choosing. The verbatim report includes a transcript of the communication which occurred during the event. It is important to write the dialogue as soon after the ministry event as possible. A satisfactory verbatim report has 4 major sections. First, an introduction. Then the verbatim transcript, what was actually said, an evaluation, and last, theological reflection. This information is also in your syllabus, so you might want to look at your syllabus and have it in front of you perhaps as I go through this part of the presentation. An example of a verbatim report is posted on the home page of your course management system, sometimes referred to as a virtual learning system. The example is too long for your assignment, but it is an excellent model for you to follow. Now let me describe how to write a verbatim report. The assignment requires you to have a ministry conversation. It's what the verbatim records. It's a conversation, and you need to have it within the context of your placement. You'll write the verbatim report reflecting what was said in the conversation. Now, how can you earn extra credit? Well, class presentation of a verbatim for peer evaluation is an optional way to earn extra credit in this class. In posting a verbatim before your class members, students will take a giant leap in improving their competencies as a minister. Let me know if you'd like to volunteer for this assignment. Completing this optional assignment can add as many as 5 total points to your final grade. Writing a verbatim report. The format for the paper must be followed precisely as it is outlined in the course syllabus and on this slide. Note the syllabus for the due date. Late papers will not be accepted without a substantial penalty. No paper will be accepted after the 9th week. Please remember that. The report must be typewritten using a PDF or Microsoft Word document. Number 2, include a cover page by using the cover sheet template that's provided on the front page of your course management system. The paper should be a maximum length of 6 pages. Divide the verbatim report into 4 sections. The 4 sections are introduction, the verbatim transcript itself, evaluation, and theological reflection. On the next few slides, I will describe the 4 sections required for this assignment. The introduction gives the date this ministry took place and other crucial information. Note the experience should be personal, it should be your own, and it should be current. Now, in this section, you'll want to talk about the known facts. Provide the reader with the known facts you had before the experience began. And then the purpose of the conversation. Describe the person or persons involved in the conversation or the situation of ministry as it presented itself, and the purpose of the conversation. What was its purpose? If you had a long-standing relationship with anyone involved, please describe this briefly in this section of your paper. And then number 3, observations. Observations should be noted, including how the conversation developed. Was there anything unrelated to the experience that may have affected your behavior during the experience? Are there sociocultural or ethnic factors that influenced how you process this verbatim? Language, economic, racial, ethnic differences, age, education, and so forth could be a factor. What motivated your response in this particular situation? Not only the known facts, the purpose of the conversation, and your observations, but fourth, my feelings and assumptions. How would you describe your feelings and assumptions in this conversation? What was on your mind before this interaction? Were you aware of any anxiety or excitement? That is what should be in the introduction. Now the verbatim transcript. Sit down as soon as possible after the encounter, after the conversation, and jot down a stream of key words that will help you remember the sequence of the conversation. Take time to recall your feelings during and after this experience, and to develop those in as much detail as time allows. Enter only direct quotations when you begin to type up the encounter. Use a separate paragraph each time a person speaks, which is indicated by the initials of the person speaking and the number of the speech. For example, M1 or P1 followed by M2 or P2. Now, to understand this code, M might mean you, and the number 1 would be the first time you spoke. P might be the person I'm talking to, and it would reference the person that you're communicating with. The first time they speak would be P1. The second time they would speak would be P2. Again, check the model that I've provided for you in this classroom or course management system. Place all nonverbal communication in parentheses, as well as insights, thoughts, and feelings of which you are aware. Note periods of silence and places where you cannot remember the exact words. That's okay. Just record that. Now note, only provide the most critical aspects of the conversation. It's understood that you will not be able to remember a conversation word for word, but try to restate it in as much clarity as possible, writing down what you remember as best you can. What you remember is significant, regardless of whether it is literally what was said or done. Now, in the evaluation, you will have 4 parts. First, an analysis. An analysis of the conversation should reflect your understanding of what actually happened in the ministry situation. The spiritual assessment. This section reflects on your ministry encounter. Assess it. And these are some of the things that you'd want to look at in terms of the assessment. What aspects of your own faith were explored, challenged, or reaffirmed? What have you learned from this experience? What might you be able to do to help this person grow socially, emotionally, and most importantly, spiritually? How did you or will you follow up on this situation? Now, self-critique. Self-critique will be be involved in the self-critique by asking, what did I say, do, or think that was right? How could I improve what I said, did, or thought? And then interpersonal dynamics. This will be made up of how does the space, position of the bodies, the movements, the setting, and other physical factors lend meaning to this ministry encounter? Were there gaps in the conversation that presented a roadblock saying, don't go there? Were there any periods of silence? If so, what happened as a result of those quiet moments? Theological reflection. Let me just underline this fact. This is the most important part of your paper. To do a theological reflection exhaustively would take many pages, so focus on what you think offers the most insight or perplexes you the most. With what theological issue is the person concerned? Issues of trust, hope, illness, despair? Did the individual speak openly of God? And if so, how would you describe the God they worship? Was fear, love, or other images associated with their God talk? Does your theology differ from the other person's in this situation? How do these differences affect your words and your actions? What's the call of the gospel in this context? Was any aspect of divine activity revealed in this experience for you? What does this encounter reveal about the human condition? About sin, for example, or evil, grace, or salvation? Reflect at a deeper theological level by using the accumulated knowledge and wisdom you have developed in Fruitland Baptist Bible College classes and from life experiences. In your theological reflection, use scripture passages, Bible stories, or images that speak to the issues that you encountered. What different positions have Christians taken on these issues through history? Does theological reflection theological reflection is the most important part of your paper. So be sure that you pay attention to it. This concludes this lesson on writing the verbatim report. If you have questions, feel free to contact me for clarification.